This video covers the first 2 days of our 2016 cruise on the Yangtze River. We boarded our cruise ship, the Yangtze Gold 8, from the dock at Chongqing. We spent the first few hours exploring the cruise ship and admiring the city of Chongqing. Chongqing is a city of 8.5 million people. Joan and I were really looking forward to this cruise with Billy, Paula, and Chuck and Luann. We saw other ships on the river, and we looked around at the city of Chongqing. We walked around the ship and saw the outside swimming pool, the atrium, the indoor swimming pool, and we examined our room and found it to be much to our liking, especially the balcony where we'd spent a lot of time. And then, as the sun went down before our ship left the dock, the lights of Chongqing came up, and they were beautiful. The ships going up and down the river were lit up just like the buildings on either side of the river. We stood outside on the upper deck as the ship pulled away from the dock, and we were amazed by the light show that was retreating into the distance. We passed under one of Chongqing's beautiful bridges spanning the Yangtze and watched as the city lights faded away. We stood on the deck for quite some time and watched the show before we decided it was time to go to bed. The sky brightened over the mountains, and Joan brewed a cup of coffee for her and tea for me, and we watched the sunrise from our balcony. The Yangtze River, known in China as Shangyang, which literally means the long river, is the longest river in Asia and the third longest in the world. The Yangtze River plays a large role in the history, culture, and economy of China. The prosperous Yangtze River Delta generates as much as 20% of China's GDP. For thousands of years, the river has been used for water, irrigation, sanitation, transportation, industry, boundary marking, and making war. We're using the Yangtze for a relaxing river cruise, and it's a chance to explore the riverside towns, the cities along the way, and enjoy the company of our friends as we learn about China. It's like life in the slow lane, sailing along at a pace, soaking up the scenery and taking naps whenever we wanted to. And Joan found time for a nap. We docked near the craggy hill called Shibaozhai, which means precious stone fortress. We saw women washing clothes in the river and merchants sitting at the top of the hillside waiting for customers. After we disembarked, we climbed the steep hill, passing the row of merchant stalls which follow the path to the pavilion where we met our local guide. We crossed the suspension bridge, known locally as the Drunken Bridge because of the swaying motion, and then we arrived at the base of the Red Pavilion, or pagoda. The rocky, craggy hill is extremely steep. It goes up about 660 feet. On the river side of the hill is a red pavilion which leans against the side of the hill, and it provides a 9-floor stairway to the temple at the top of the hill. The 9-story pavilion was constructed in 1819 to help people get to the top of the hill. Previously, people were hoisted to the top by a system of chains. Each floor of the 9-story pavilion has a story to tell with statues and paintings and artifacts. Paula took the challenge to cross the Lover's Bridge, but where's Billy? It was a beautiful day, and we enjoyed the view from the top. We hiked about halfway down where there were merchants selling wares, but we also found a beautiful garden area. We hiked through and looked at some of the wonderful plants and the reliefs on the walls. Some of the ancient stories were told in those reliefs. And then it was time to hike back down to the ship. Somehow we made it back to the ship without buying anything from the many vendors along the path, even though there were some beautiful items for sale. Back on the ship, we relaxed on our balcony for a while. We dressed for the captain's dinner and the show that was put on by our ship's staff, and we capped the night off with a game of Spot It. We thoroughly enjoyed our first full day on the Yangtze River from Chongqing to Zhongjian and on to Wanzhou.